These things are supposed to be in your proposal. Before you actually go before a panel, you're supposed to make sure they are in your slides. Are you with me? These are the things that we actually need to have in our final year project proposal presentation slides. They're supposed to be in there. Now, they might differ depending on the university, but actually they are the basic ones that have been proven to be a must to have in your project proposal presentation slides. You get what I mean? We have the cover page. The cover page is what actually shows the title. It has the title of your project. Now, for example, I was designing a mechanized malt wheel nut remover. That was my title. That is my title. You get what I mean? So it's supposed to be on your cover page. Literally, your cover page has your credentials. The number two slide is supposed to be having the background to the study. And before we actually go to the background of study, it's very much important to understand that when you're going before a panel, these slides that you're actually presenting, they are supposed to be as summarized as possible, but yet meaningful. You get what I mean? They are literally supposed to be a few sentences from which you are supposed to build your explanations from. The background of study literally helps you understand, or helps the panel understand, from where are you actually coming to bring in your project. Does that make sense? That's the background to the study. The third thing is the problem statement. Now, the problem statement, all it does is to actually elucidate or present to the panel what is the problem that you, my friend, that your project is actually addressing. A paragraph is actually enough, but it's supposed to be summarized so that you can actually use that summary to explain to the panel. And mind you, you're supposed to use a maximum of 10 minutes to actually explain everything to the panel. Does that make sense? 10 minutes, that means you're supposed to be as quick, you're supposed to be as confident, just like we said in the previous video. You're supposed to be as prepared as you can, just like we said in the previous video. So it's very much important that you have all those things in check. The fourth slide is supposed to be having the general objective. The general objective or objectives is literally gotten from the design title. You get what I mean? Or the project title, or the topic of your presentation is usually where we get the general objective. Then the specific objectives, they are sort of looking at different sectors within that topic that you're actually trying to address, that you're trying to pitch out to the panel. The specific parts, the different parts that you're actually going to do so that you can achieve your topic, so that you can achieve your goal of solving whatever problem you're solving. Let me give you a typical example. My general objective was to design a mechanized malt wheel nut remover that will reduce the torque required to change the wheels. And my specific objectives were to study the existing methods of changing tires. And my second objective was to identify the components and design parameters for the mechanized wheel nut remover. You get what I mean? To size, to select, to develop the layout of the mechanized malt. It's that simple. I think by the time you actually formulate a proposal, you know how those things come about. Slide number 6 is supposed to be the significance. How important is your project? What is the importance of your project to the society? What is the importance of your project to the world? What is the importance of your project to you? What is the importance of your project to the people around you, to the surrounding? That is the significance. How significant is your project? The research questions. Research questions are actually the questions that are going to guide you along your project. Does that make sense? For example, if I'm designing a mechanized malt wheel nut remover, the questions that I have to ask myself, the things that are supposed to guide me as I am designing are: what are the working mechanisms of the existing spanners? What are the working mechanisms of the existing ways that people do actually put off tires? What are the components and the design parameters? What should be the appropriate layout? How am I supposed to size this project that I'm actually developing? You understand? So those are the questions. These are the things that actually guide you. They should guide you, and you're supposed to be able to explain them to the panel, but in summarized way. You're supposed to have the scope of the study. Now, the scope is literally trying to explain the boundaries of your study, the boundaries within which your project is actually going to be done or executed? What's the geographical scope? What's the geographical boundary? Is it only going to be within the central? Is it only going to be within the nation? Is it going to exceed the country? Is it going to be a project for the whole Africa? Is it for the whole world? Is it for only your university? That is a geographical scope. The time scope, you're literally telling us it's going to be between this month and this month of this year and this year. You get what I mean? Then the other thing that we need to have is the justification. That justification, just like you hear the word justification, you're justifying that without your project, then things are going to go astray. Without your project, then the world is no more. Without your project, my friend, then the world is actually going to suffer more. So you're trying to give us the reason as to why we need to listen to you more. You're giving us a reason as to why this project must be executed, because minus it being executed, then this and this will happen, then this and this will happen, then these companies will lose money, then this maybe these people might not be able to work again, then maybe this nation might get poorer, maybe this and this might happen in this industry, in the automotive industry, in the mechanical industry, in the electrical industry. If we don't execute this and this and this, all those are supposed to be under your justification, but summarize them in pointers so that when you reach on the panel, you tell them, you address them, just like you see point number 1. It's very much important that this is executed. Minus it being executed, that and that and that might happen. So it's important. As you are supposed to have a framework. A framework can either be theoretical or it has to be conceptual. Now, for engineering students, usually we are supposed to present conceptual frameworks. A conceptual framework is literally a summary of, or it shows the variables, the different types of variables that are within your project. And by variables, a variable is anything that actually does change with an effect of another. Does that make sense? Then we have the methodology. For simplification, it's better you put the methodology in a table form. Then you must have a work plan. In the work plan, you're simply telling us the tasks that are going to be performed within what duration of time. Does that make sense? For example, when you look at my work plan right here, I had the tasks to be performed and then the different months within which this project must be done. So you're supposed to give these people hope and you tell them by this time, this project is going to be up and standing. If you're going to have a prototype, by this time, this prototype is going to be out and it will be tested. Does that make sense? Then, my friends, you're supposed to have references. References are you're simply telling us, I visited Google, I visited www.engineering -- I visited YouTube, and these are the links to the videos, these are the links to the websites, these are the books, the authors of the books that I actually reached out to get information. These are the things that I went to actually get information. Those are the references. It's very much important that you refer the source of your information, because in research methods, we actually avoid plagiarism, and plagiarism is trying to use someone's information, someone's work, minus actually acknowledging their efforts, minus acknowledging them. And then you're supposed to have the budget. A budget. In the budget, you're supposed to tell us how much have you used when you're doing your proposal. You're supposed to tell us how much have you used on transport, internet bundles, stationary work, research. You're supposed to tell us the income. How much money have you put in? Where has it come from? Has it come from your savings? Has it come from maybe a donation? Have you been sponsored by your parents? And all those different things. So the panel would actually want to know how you got the money, how you've spent the money. And guess what? That's about it. Those are some of the basic things that we need to have as engineering students, as final year students, as university final year students. Those are some of the things that we need to have within our project proposal presentation slides. This is some of the things that actually do matter, and that is why we speak about it right here, the African way. God bless you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.